They say every woman carries a truth she hides even from herself. Mine didn't whisper. It crashed into me the night I realized my heart had already slipped out of the place I thought it belonged. I had been with Ryan for almost a year. Kind, steady, predictable in a way most people would consider comforting. He was the version of safety everyone told me I was lucky to have. And yet, something inside me was missing. A quiet emptiness I kept trying to ignore. Then there was Reeve, Ryan's best friend. Tall, reserved, a man who didn't need attention to command it. He lived in his own silence, but that silence held more presence than most people's words. The first time his eyes met mine, the moment stretched. Too aware, too sharp, too intentional to be accidental. It felt like he saw straight through the part of me that smiled politely beside Ryan. I told myself it was harmless. Just imagination. Just curiosity. But days blurred into weeks, and that silent pull between us only tightened. I started noticing the way his gaze lingered when the room wasn't watching, and how, against every rule I believed in, I had begun to linger too. Then came the night everything changed. Ryan got a sudden call, laughed as he grabbed his keys, and nudged Reeve's shoulder. "Bro, keep her entertained. I'll be back in an hour." He had no idea how much damage an hour could do. For a while, nothing was different. Reeve sat on the couch scrolling through his phone while I pretended to care about whatever was on the TV. But the silence between us? It wasn't empty. It was charged, humming with everything unspoken. "I'll make tea," I said, too quickly, an escape disguised as hospitality. I had barely reached the kitchen before I heard footsteps behind me. He didn't stand too close, but close enough that every nerve in me felt him. My hand trembled as I lifted the kettle. The cup tipped, hot tea splashing across the counter. "You okay?" His voice cut through the tension, low, steady, far gentler than I was prepared for. He reached for my hand, checking the burn. His touch wasn't rushed. It wasn't innocent either, and I didn't pull away. For a long moment, we just stood there, breaths uneven, hearts louder than words. He stepped closer, not pushing, not assuming, just waiting, giving me every chance to step back. But I didn't. When his hands settled on my waist, my pulse stuttered, not from fear, but recognition. Like this was the moment I'd been trying not to want. He didn't kiss me. Not fully, but the brush of his lips near my neck, the warmth of his breath, the slow slide of his fingers against the thin fabric of my shirt. It was enough to break something fragile inside me. We didn't cross every line, but we crossed the one that mattered, the one you can't uncross. When Ryan came back, we acted normal. We laughed, we talked, but nothing was normal anymore. The next day, silence hung where temptation had lived. No call from him, no text from me. But my mind replayed every second in the kitchen, every breath, every almost. I still cared for Ryan, in the way comfort often disguises itself as love. But what I felt when Reeve looked at me, that was something else. Something raw. Something I couldn't name without betraying everything. Days passed quietly, painfully. We never spoke of that night. But silence can be a confession all its own. Every time I saw him beside Ryan, every stolen glance, every accidental brush of awareness between us, it all came back. Not guilt, not exactly. More like a longing that refused to fade. One evening, Ryan invited him over again. We sat in the living room, Ryan laughing loudly, filling the space with his usual stories. But across the room, Reeve's eyes found mine, and in that quiet, heavy second, I knew the story wasn't over.